Hey folks, welcome back to Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the First Sin. We're here in Iron Keep. In the last episode, we took on the Smelter Demon and the Pursuer one more time. And today we are going to be going on an optional side path, an area that is connected to Iron Keep, but is more or less separate. We do have to wade a little bit through Iron Keep to get there, but it's mostly going to be the other area. I'm hoping that guy doesn't bother me. If you decided to skip Smelter Demon and just take the door out of the furnace, the ladder leads straight up here and reconnects with the Smelter Demon path. So honestly, the distance of the two paths is almost entirely the same. Pretty comparable. Let's see, can I draw one aggro and not the other? I think I can. Awesome. Then, other guy, come on over. Nice. Now you'll see there's an old ironclad there. We've met these guys a couple times, mostly in the Forest of Fallen Giants. This guy has a trick that I would recommend for your own sanity. It's, try to avoid it, but I'm going to show it off just so I can demonstrate what it is. He will, I believe, take 3 hits to pound on this panel of the bridge. And on the 3rd hit, bridge will break and you have to jump across rather than being able to walk. Now this is kind of annoying, because it means you have to jump, and jumping in this game isn't great. Luckily, it's a pretty short jump. Should be able to make it no problem. That was playing it closer than I usually do, but it does make fighting the Ironclad quite a bit more difficult, because normally, you'd want a lot of room to back up because they tend to chase you with their hammer up in the air, but you can't back up when there's a pit behind you. So instead you'll have to play a little more aggressively, make sure that he doesn't force you back in there, and then you have to deal with this guy too. 2 dudes right in a row. So this is a big set piece room that we are not going to explore fully today, because our destination lies behind this door. The rest of those guys are just gonna have to wait. Behind this door, there is a Pharaoh's contraption. Which reveals a ladder. And up this ladder, we have a bonfire, another ladder leading way up there, and a chest over here. Which isn't a super important chest, but I do want to grab as much as I can. It's the Thunder Quartz Ring +1. Not sure if we've encountered a Thunder Quartz Ring before, but this is a +1. Increases thunder defense. I think we have encountered other quartz rings before, because I remember reading a description like this. Yeah, we already knew that Pyromancer Glocken crafted replicas of rings, such that his fellow magicians harshly scolded him for undermining lessons gained through harsh training. It's like, dude, stop cheating. It's not fair. Yeah, if you want to take a nice little aerial look at what you're going to be encountering, we got plenty of lava, we got items. Got that dude over there who, I guess you could pull out a bow and arrow and snipe if you wanted to. That guy hanging out by a fog door. And a whole nother platform up there. Funny. Take a look at that next episode. But let's light this bonfire. No way up, by the way, from this ledge, except by going the long way around, or by warping. So you're kind of committing to this path if you decide to drop down. Not really, but kind of. Ooh, look at that fog. Hey there. Flipping through the floor. And you may recognize folks like this dude.
You want to guard the bell, do you? For the princess and prince forever, for true. The prince made me to guard the bell of them. In effect, the bell of the fine prince. In Vulcan, the bell of the princess. Tear 'em to shreds, tear 'em to bits. Gather around and ring the bell swift. We've been ringing this bell forever, we have.
So yeah, this is, as I will show in just a moment when we walk through this door, this is Belfry Sol, which is a counterpart to Belfry Luna over in the Lost Bastille. And so Belfry Sol and Belfry Luna were constructed by a prince and a princess, respectively, as some sort of tribute or symbol to their love that could not be. I suspect maybe that story is told in the Bellkeeper's set item descriptions. I don't know if we're gonna get any of those today. We'll see what the drops are like. I don't super know the details. I just think it's as far as I'm aware, it's a Romeo and Juliet kind of situation. So you'll remember from Belfry Luna, we had to trek through several layers of onslaughts from short dudes like this in order to ring a bell, and it's a similar setup here. And much like in Belfry Luna, if you're playing online, this is a place where you can get invaded a lot, which is annoying, and I don't like it, so I'm playing offline. So this is a actually pretty tricky combat setup, if you ask me. You got a bunch of little dudes. You've got far more humanoid, or I guess they're all humanoid, but human-sized enemies in this version compared to Belfry Luna. So you've got this kind of pyromancer witch person here, and then there's a whole lot more that we will get to. I'm gonna try to take things slow so I can just get them one at a time, but I'm not sure where everyone hides out at the beginning. So, whoop, there we go. So I'm not sure I will be able to totally get all of them. Oh, come on. Get all of them in the best possible location. But you can see right here, look at that fellow. Got a big sword, got a big shield, and he's got backup. We've got some ballistas here. I cannot imagine trying to get a ballista shot off in this environment. You know, no one's standing right in the way, and this is probably going to draw aggro from somebody. But if you are somehow in an invasion setup, you know, maybe you could catch somebody off guard. But they're still ballistas, so they're still pretty tough to make work. Ah, ooh, that guy did a lot. That was counter damage right there. Digging the range on these katana. You know, sometimes I'll run into a situation where I'm afraid I'm pushing somebody back too far and I won't be able to hit him with the next strike, but that has not been an issue thus far. Anyway, we got another dude with a big sword and a big shield. And reminds me a lot of the guy outside the undead, what's it, the undead purgatory place with the chariot. But either the AI is worse on this, or there's something about the setup that makes it easier, or I'm just better now for some reason, or I have more space to work with, but I find these guys easier to deal with. Generally, I bait them into a series of heavy attacks from their great sword, and then hit them with a heavy attack, and then roll out of the way. May not be elegant, but it works. Now, the bell we have to ring is actually over here, which is... Oh, hey there. What are you doing there, bud? Yeah, so I guess in offline mode they'll create red phantoms for you to fight. Because when I was running through this area in online mode about 15 minutes ago, this guy did not show up. Whoop. There we go. Who knows? Might get that guy again. Anyway, the bell we have to ring is actually right here, which is only about halfway through the area. We still got 2 separate combat encounters left to take care of before we are able to get out of here. Also, it's weird that the lever is over there, not over here. And there's the bells over there. I don't know. Don't quite understand. Anyway, I think I just heard a ladder being lowered, so I assume that's our ticket out of here. But before that, we are heading up onto the rooftops by climbing up here. And here we'll encounter a very interesting enemy. A dude who is fun to cosplay if you have the materials. He has dual javelins, which are a special kind of crossbow. And he does not have any melee weapons. He just shoots you with triple shot crossbows, which is cool as hell. Thing about crossbows, as you've no doubt seen from my use of them, is that they take a little while to get out of the shooting animation. He has to kind of reload like that. So it gives you a good opportunity to sneak up and attack him. That guy can very, very rarely drop a piece of the Black Witch set. He dropped it in my test run of the area, but I mean, I was recording, but I wasn't doing good commentary for it, and then I got killed by a human invader, so we're not seeing that footage. Oh, there is a bell over there, okay. But yeah, this is an area that a lot of people like to grind, because there are a couple enemies, such as that dual javelin person, and maybe some other things, and a special red phantom invader, who is apparently not invading me today, who all rarely drop special items or weapons or armor. So this is an area that a lot of people will plug in a bonfire aesthetic to run through again and fight them again for a very small chance of being able to get their special drops. Anyway, I let that guy come up here. Have I lured him away from the bell keepers there? Whoop. But it's a bit of a tricky situation. I'm gonna run off the side here. Woo. Try to get a wall between him and me. There we go. Now I got a lot more space to work with, and everything's all nice and even. So now I can just treat him like I did the last guy. Come on. Ooh. But it does look like he has a certain amount of aggro range. He doesn't want to go too far over. Come on. Come on, buddy. One more hit should do him. just kind of baited him into an attack by creating an opening of my own. So yeah, I'm not showing off everything in Belfry Sol just because it's random whether, you know, you get the exact invasion. There's like a mad warrior who can invade. Isn't invading today, I guess. And I'm not going to retry the area until he does. And he can very rarely drop his set, which has certain item descriptions, and they're, you know, special. You know, I think the Avalon dude and maybe that witch at the beginning have very, very rare special drops. I'm not going to grind for those. Look them up on the wiki, okay? You know, I'm showing the gist of it. Anyway, let's just go melee here. Ooh, maybe he dropped something. That can give us some lore. Oh man, these guys just take one more hit than I can dish out with a full stamina combo. What a tragedy. Alright, what'd you drop? What'd you drop? The Bellkeeper Shield. Let's check it out. The bells symbolize forbidden love. The Bellkeepers, their faithful guardians, ever ready to annihilate trespassers. They will stand watch forever and ever, these determined, if ill-fated, marionettes. So there's an interesting, I guess, through line there with the mannequins in Earthen Peak, and then these Bellkeepers, which are marionettes in the Belfries. You know, this idea of something or someone that is entirely controlled by someone else. You know, these Bellkeepers, I guess, aren't people. They're just marionettes. And in a game that talks a lot about purpose and identity, marionettes that are literally just empty shells that do somebody else's bidding. You know, those are an interesting piece of the puzzle. Anyway, for your trouble, what do we get? Immolation. It's a pyromancy. And I think we're just gonna have to go into here. A pyromancy that creates a coating of flame, allowing the caster to incinerate nearby foes. Needless to say, this is a perilous spell that burns the caster while active. If a person is truly desirous of something, perhaps being set on fire does not seem so bad. I guess you do you, I guess. You know, if your fiery passion drives you to self-destruction. Then we get Human FG and Triclops, Snake, Trochees, I don't know, we've, similar to the Red Leech Trochees, these ones boost Petrify resist rather than Bleed resist, but otherwise, descriptions are pretty much the same, scent of rust. And listen to that lava flow. Anywho, that takes care of Belfry Sol, and we are back in Iron Keep, which is right around where we entered. However, there is an illusory wall here, and because I had offline mode turned on, there was no message, but hopefully there would be a message there online. What happened with... That's a lighting glitch. Anywho, for being diligent and rubbing our faces against walls, we get the Black Knight Greatsword. A Protective Chime, and the Grand Spirit Tree Shield. Okay. Oh gosh, I better have forgotten what was in the first chest. Protective Chime, sacred chime commonly used by clerics of Lindelt, a catalyst for miracles and hexes. Sacred chime serves to conduct the power of miracles, but in the past something entirely different served the same purpose. I have no idea what that would be, but okay. And then the Grand Spirit Tree Shield. Shield of the Blue Spirit Tree that is said to possess divine powers. Appears in the allegory of Kala, god of dream, and can deflect spells by parrying. Once there was a boy who was easily frightened until the talking tree of Dreamworld transformed itself into a shield to protect him. I've never heard of Kala before, but it's kind of interesting that there's this myth, you know, fable, fairy tale of sorts, in a game that is so or series, I should say, that is so much about learning histories of places and sometimes connecting to previous games, as if they were myth, you know, that have been passed down so many times as if they're myth. Having a story that, as far as I'm aware, has nothing to do with anything in any other Dark Souls game. It's an interesting counterpart where myth and reality become one and the same. God, what was in the first chest? No, Black Knight Greatsword. That's what it was. Greatsword wielded by knights who served a Lord of Light in a long-forgotten age. Even after their flesh was charred by flame, they remained as strong as ever and stood watch, challenging visitors to their land. So yeah, the Black Knights, they're from Dark Souls 1. You may remember them as being very difficult. You can find their weapons in places, and I believe there's actually more than one Black Knight weapon here in Iron Keep. That said, I don't think there's any particular significance or connection between Iron Keep and the Black Knights, other than fire. I don't know, everything here is so heavily armored. Maybe they followed in the footsteps of the Black Knights, but that doesn't really quite make sense with the katanas and stuff. Maybe the Black Knight weaponry is what they used before they met the vagrant from the Far East. But I don't really know. Anyway, actually, I'm just gonna go to that bonfire that was up there by the entrance to Belfry Sol, and that's where we're gonna call this an episode. Because we've gone on an adventure, we've seen a whole different area. In the next episode, we will be continuing on in Iron Keep. We're getting towards the end. I think there's only about 2 episodes left here in Iron Keep, so if you're getting sick of seeing lava, it's coming to an end. But, for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.